Right, hello, good morning, and welcome to the show. This is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. It's a Wednesday, the 27th day of March 2024. By His grace, we're live and we're here. We're at another edition of the show. Our gratitude to go to Most High God for the rare privilege of being alive and, of course, the opportunity of having another conversation around the top stories making rounds here in our dear Republic. I'll let you into our panel for the morning's conversation shortly, but let's take a look at the front pages of our newspapers. Daily Graphic. 3.94 billion cedis approved for Get Fund projects. Stalled works to be reactivated. Economy stable. Recovery kicks in. Finance Minister assures citizenry. Bawumia to inject 2,000 megawatt solar power. The Ghanaian Times. At Maiden 2024 monthly press briefing on economy. Government set to negotiate new deal. Targets country's commercial creditors. Finance Minister. Will secure private partnership to complete Saglemi housing project. Works and Housing Minister. MEF lever for localization of value in mining sector. MEF CEO. Get Fund to pay 2.6 billion cedis to contractors to complete stalled projects. Daily Guide. Bawumia hits road with bold promises. IMF review to inject $360 million US. Get Fund secures 3.9 billion cedis for contractors. Feeder pushes for female MPP running mate. Fanny face caged over accident. The New Crusading Guide. Choice of running mate. Calls intensify in NPP for Nato Shiado to partner Bawumia. Bawumia commissions another fire service training school. National Tally now 3. Amadokue's campaign billboards vandalized in Okankwe North. Get Fund to clear contractors' arrears. Alan promises to make Eastern Region Research and Innovation Hub. Battle over ownership of property at East Legon. Benjamin Akwe sets record straight. The Insight. Minority chases Bawumia over comments against Ghana Revenue Authority. Ahead of 2024 polls, SMG warns EC against disenfranchising eligible voters. Attacks on Professor Nana Opoku-Agyeman. Alliance of Feminist CEOs urges NPP to call Wontumi to order. Cost of living crisis worsens in Egypt soon after IMF loan deal. Sarki Yahya Yendu hails Ghana's junior WBO champion. The Herald. Otumfuo's Napo knocks himself out of Bawumia's running mate race. Kelly Gajekpo cites personal reasons and resigns as ECG board chair. Cocoa crisis deepens with Ghana set to lose access to bank loans. Opuni never asked CRIG scientists to shorten testing of fertilizers. Dr. F.M. Amwa disowned in court. YE aims at mitigating national security threat. Trains 10,000 youth in various states. The Daily Statesman. Brightest ever display of responsible leadership. Majority leader touts Akufo-Addo's stewardship. NHIA pays 180 million cedis to health providers. Buzia Institute wants more care for old people. Your visit has offered us hope. Mepe Chief thanks Housing Minister. Okankwe North NPP candidates billboards defaced. The Daily Searchlight. Government by procurement, Part 2, fleeing a confirmed king. Roland Agambira receives Education Ministry's 1.3 million tablets deal. Goma Central Agenda 11 Hospital Project, 80% completed. NPP storms Kuru for its possible unity walk. President Akufo-Addo revokes appointment of Hoho MCE, nominates new MCE. Stop speeding and follow speed limits to save lives. National Road Safety Authority to drivers. National Defense University timely for regional security, GTEC. Dr. Bawumia not under pressure to announce running mate, Damboche. The Ghanaian Publisher. FIDA pushes Bawumia to pick female. Understanding the principles and conditions of fasting in Ramadan. Ghana producing technically inclined students, says Akufo-Addo. Housing flood victims. Government begins construction of housing units. The Accra Times. Akufo-Addo must be checked. He is setting dangerous precedents. Speaker. Agalga Suhini pay glowing tribute to former boss Woyongo. Mark Woyongo remembered in Parliament. NDC women condemn Wontumi for disparaging remarks on Professor Jenan Opoku-Agyeman. Protect Ghanaian family values. Speaker charges. The Custodian. Make history with female running mates. Groups to Baumia. 30 smart schools coming soon. Ekufado. Napos Dumso comment distorted. Energy Ministry. Don't air internal grievances on radio. The New Finder. Sought cut for new houses for flood victims of Akosobo Dam spillage. Dr. Baumia leads NPP to shake Kwewu Easter. Court orders new IMC to take over the operations of Adamus Ghana. Ghana's first female VIP now hinges on NPP. Daily Post. 2 NPP ministers reveal how the NPP has failed Ashanti. Minority condemns Baumia's comments on GRA, decries high taxation policies. We won't fall victim to your shenanigans for the third time. Importers and Exporters Association to Baumia. And the paper has a quote from Maya Angelou. It says, nothing can dim the light that shines from within. And that's about it. For the front pages, we'll be back shortly. All right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. And with me on the show this morning, I have Kwesi Pratt Jr. as the managing editor of the Inside newspaper. Kwesi, good morning.
Good morning.
Also with me on the show this morning is a member of the National Communications team of the NPP. He's also the board chair of the National Theatre. Nana Fredua Ufuri Atta is here with me on the show. Good morning, Nana.
Morning, sir.
How are you?
Oh, sir.
Okay. All right. Okay. I was supposed to have been at the National Theatre last week.
You should make it today. Today is an extraordinary day. There's an event today.
Which one?
It's the I've even sent you a thing. It's on the coffee platform.
Okay.
There's a concert, music concert. Fim and the orchestra. You know Fim?
Which one?
Fim, the music guy. The guy he's a hip lifer.
I think I've heard the name.
Yeah. He's a hip lifer.
Oh. Okay. It's the National Symphony Orchestra in concert.
Yes.
Classical hip life featuring Fim.
Yeah.
Okay. It's 120 Ghana cedis.
Yeah. Well, that's
7 p.m.
That's how
today.
cheap it is.
And the conductor is Isaac Anno.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a fusion of classical and hip life music. All are invited. Oh, okay.
Really nice.
Last week or 2 weeks ago, I was supposed to
The gods are not.
go and watch. Yes,
Or is it Abekus?
George Quay's production.
Yeah, that was it's a policy that we took up.
Okay.
The board, we decided that we needed to redirect things. So now you bring in. So if, for example, you were a director, play director, producer, yeah, and you wanted to, we'll sign up with you, and then you work with the theatre to do productions that you would.
It was like a co-production.
Yes.
Okay.
So he comes in. So in this case, the position is called artistic director in residence.
Okay.
So that's what he was for that period.
Oh, okay.
So you
okay. So
Yeah.
you can have an artistic director in residence for, let's say, 2 weeks or 1 month.
Very good. In
And
this
then
case,
his productions.
Yes, in this case for a quarter. We do it on a quarterly basis.
Okay, so you can have 4 in a year.
Yeah.
Okay, and then all the productions. So you can have like Latif as the next one.
Good.
Okay.
That kind of.
That's a good initiative.
Yeah. And so it's supposed to show the role of the theatre. Really, it's supposed to help build careers and because now, by his showing now, everybody can see that he is truly good at doing that. Before
I think the way they're also introducing people who are not known with respect to the stage,
yes,
but are known figures. I mean, introducing them into that also attracts a lot of people.
Yeah, so it's really good.
I'm looking forward to the day that I will muster the courage to
perform.
To perform.
In fact, you're listed. No, I'm not joking. No. I've come up with a scheme. Why are you laughing? I've come up with a scheme where
start with Kwesi and Kweku.
Kwesi, he and I on the warpath. He threw a party and they invited me. I'm telling the whole world. I've told him I won't stop talking about this thing. I never go. I never. I never asked for anybody's invitation. Never. I've never done that in my life. But today I'm letting the world know that because he didn't invite me to his party, and I shouldn't.
But 71st is coming soon.
Apu, he didn't invite me.
70 crab on 71.
Exactly. So yeah, but this evening, I hope people will come and enjoy this unique thing. It's only.
So it's the National Symphony Orchestra.
Yeah.
Which is actually in concert with a hip life artist.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a night of classical hip life.
Yeah. It's so you can imagine violins and cellos
all
chasing a hip life song.
Whoa.
You can imagine them.
It's just 120 cities.
Yeah.
Okay. When I say just, I mean for that kind of show. I know that times are difficult.
No, it's not.
For that kind of show, 120 is affordable.
Times are not difficult. People are paying 500 to see other shows that are not as classy as this one. So 120 is really reasonable, extremely reasonable for a high quality program like that.
So it's 7 p.m.
No, that's exactly what Randy said.
No, that's not.
He said for a
he said
program
times
like
are hard
this.
and that. I'm saying there are programs that are less valuable.
No, when I said that it's just 120.
Don't say anything for question.
No, there are people who might think that I'm insensitive because 120 CDs for quite a lot is. You know, that's why I said that for a show like this, 120 is very affordable.
Yeah, but people shouldn't.
Because what even goes into the production?
People shouldn't be sensitive about
what even goes into the production for a show like this is extremely, you know. Okay.
This is the kind of program you pay high money for.
Why didn't you push it to say tomorrow?
Why not today? Today is World Theatre Day.
Oh, okay. I said tomorrow because of the holidays.
But Randy,
but 7 p.m. is also early. A bit early.
People should be interested in doing theatre on a Monday or on a Tuesday, or even a Wednesday. Why? It's entertainment. Normally, after work, we go and sit in some spot, spend money on booze, and go home. Disorient our bodies, and then the next morning when you're going to work, you have a problem. Why won't you spend some of that? Enjoy theatre, still lifts your spirits, and you go home. So we should.
How exciting is it going to, let's say, for a show like this? What's the excitement? What's the allure?
Okay, this one is a personal thing, I guess. So let me explain mine. You know the effect of music on, and this is music, so we're talking music. The effect of music on a human being. It does a lot of things. You know, somebody in a sick bed can head towards healing just by listening to music. Yeah. And there's all kinds of the emotional and therapeutic things. Of course, the primary thing is that it's entertainment, and so you'll enjoy your time there. And you need to, if you're not used to a certain type of entertainment, sometimes you need to explore and keep an open mind about it in order to enjoy it. You know, I mean, like, because that's when he likes raga music. He doesn't open his mind to any other kind.
Reggae or raga? Raga,
okay. You know, raga is the extra reggae.
Okay.
Yeah. And you know how he dances, right? I can't show on TV. But
when he was younger,
he still dances.
The same dance.
The party he didn't come into, he was dancing.
No, but not this, not the one, not that dance.
But you were there, you saw him.
No, not that dance. This dance went with his age.
Oh, stop! He doesn't stop.
You are referring to the Saboni one.
The Olufu one. You know, he does this and he does. I he did it at the party. He didn't come.
Don't worry. Anyway, so everybody is here. So.
Everybody is. So you know. Let's start this evening.
Because are you into the arts?
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
No, as for music, I know that
he does more music.
As for music, I know that.
I used to.
You used to always have this show at the Freedom Center. These days, you don't do it anymore. You even have a band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I used to act plays.
You used to act?
Plays.
Okay.
Until something happened.
What happened to you?
Uh-oh.
I was to play a part of somebody who was going to get killed, you know.
In the play.
Play.
Okay.
There was some strong objection. And that's what ended my
Strong objection to you playing the part.
Yeah, playing a part of somebody who got killed.
Objection by who and from where?
It's enough.
It's enough.
That's where the thing is.
It's enough. You know.
You're scared to die.
I wasn't.
Oh, okay.
I mean, the people who were close to me at the time,
The home forces.
They
thought that it was not a good role to play.
And that killed it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
They killed something by not killing him.
Maybe that's how come you're still alive.
I'm not superstitious at all. So.
Anyway, so if you're thinking of getting a toothpaste that will take care of all the family and save money, the recommended family toothpaste is KEL 360 toothpaste. It's approved by the Food and Drugs Authority. KEL 360 toothpaste provides you and your family with all-round dental protection throughout the day with freshness. KEL 360 toothpaste is good for kids, children, and adults. Let your family be a proud family when they step out by constantly using KEL 360 toothpaste. KEL 360 toothpaste brightens your teeth, prevents cavity, and with its cool mint gives you fresh breath throughout the day and protects the gum from decaying. For consistency and quality, use KEL 360 toothpaste. KEL 360 toothpaste is another product from Samara Company Limited, producers of Sasso. It's available in all supermarkets, malls, and provision shops. Call Samara Company on 0246 864798. KEL 360 toothpaste, happy smile. And the pains of climbing the stairs when not exercising could be challenging for all ages, but worry no more. Lift and elevators have got you covered with the best portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators on the market today. It's a simple self-supported elevator for both homes and offices, and guess what? It can lift your goods too. Wheelchairs can fit in, and they come in 3 custom-made models. It's affordable and can be installed within 3 days. Visit Lift and Elevators at Sakumon or just call them on 0200535515 or send a mail to elevatorsgh@gmail.com for consultations and the best solutions in easy vertical movement. Estate Masters Limited is giving a 10% discount on all their lands. The lands are located at Ningo Pram, close to the Central University in Chopoli, close to the Saglemi Affordable Housing, starting from 25,000 cedis and 12,500 Ghana cedis. You can contact them on 0500304447 or 0593-803-180. Or you can find them on www.estatemasters.com, estatemastersgh.com. Right, so get ready for the ultimate Easter shopping experience and join us at This is Ghana Easter Sales Expo happening from March 29th to March 31st, 2024 at Osu Oxford Street. For as little as 300 Ghana cedis, you can showcase your brand and reach thousands through TV interviews, commercials, and more. For more information, contact us on 0244-598-747 or 0548-390970. Don't miss out. Reserve your spot today and make this Easter unforgettable. And this is sponsored by Appointed Time Printing, AH Hotel and Conference, East Legon, Blue Jeans Energy Drink, Original 91.9 FM, Metro TV, and Original TV. Interested food vendors should also contact us. And so you just need to call 0244-598747 or 0548-390970. And that is the ultimate Easter shopping experience happening on the Osu Oxford Street. That's the Ghana Easter Sales Expo. And it's from the 29th of March, that's Friday, through to the 31st of March, right on the Osu Oxford Street. And you need to be a part of this. And just by spending as little as 300 cedis, you can showcase your brand and reach thousands through TV interviews, commercials, and many more. Don't miss out on this one. All right. Okay. So, are you aware that sometime yesterday the price of cocoa crossed $10,000?
Where?
Cocoa.
Yes.
Where?
Yes. On the international market.
Ah, okay.
Yes. Just yesterday. I think, yes, I'm right. I think it was yesterday.
Where would you check that?
No, I'll pull it out. I had it.
Yeah, but I'm saying where?
You can
Where?
check, maybe try Bloomberg. And you can get it there. Okay, so there was even a story on Ghana Web about that. Cocoa going beyond. Cocoa breaks 10,000 US dollars record with pricier chocolate to follow, because that's also value added. And it says that cocoa futures surged above an unprecedented $10,000 a ton, extending a historic rally that's already seen prices double this year, and which is raising the cost of chocolate. The market is being rattled by poor crops in key West African growers that has put the world on course for a third straight annual supply deficit. The industry is grappling with the legacy of poor returns paid to cocoa farmers, and fears are mounting about being able to source enough beans. So futures jumped as much as 4.5% to 10,080 in New York on Tuesday, a level that seemed unthinkable only a few months ago. The rally has pushed a technical gauge of prices into overbought territory for much of the last couple of months, though cocoa has continued to soar. And according to Paul Jules, an analyst at Rabobank in London, he says, when we are at this price, it's hard to tell whether these prices are justified. Whenever we have a dip in the market, it seems to shoot straight back up, which is more to do with commercials. They have been net buyers. And they say that this is bad news for consumers. If chocolatiers keep passing on costs or sell bars that are smaller or have less chocolate in them. However, what should be good news for Ghana in terms of the unprecedented prices appears to be rather a problem for us. And the story says cocoa crisis deepens, with Ghana set to lose access to bank loan. And Ghana is set to lose access
to what?
Bank loan. Ghana is set to lose access. So that's the story. You see Bloomberg's one. Cocoa breaks 10,000 record with pricier chocolate to follow. Okay. So now Ghana is set to lose access to a key funding facility as a crisis in its cocoa crop has left it without enough beans to secure the funds. It is the latest sign of the fallout from the extreme weather and disease that hits cocoa output in both Ghana and neighboring Ivory Coast, the biggest grower. Cocoa futures in New York have more than doubled to record levels above $9,000 a ton this year. Now the country is turning to traders to try and plug the funding gap. According to Bank of Ghana Governor Ines Addison, the Ghana Cocoa Board, the industry regulator known as Cocoa Board, relies on foreign financing to pay cocoa farmers for their beans. Quote, the second tranche of the cocoa loan is being put together by a consortium of cocoa buyers. Addison told reporters in Accra on Monday. Ghana, the world's number 2 cocoa producer, secured an $800 million US loan at the end of last year from a group of 8 banks led by Cooperative Rabobank UA. Cocoa Board doesn't have enough beans to support the second and final $200 million drawdown from the commodity-backed facility. According to people familiar with the matter who asked not to be identified as the matter is private, it's not prudent to go for additional drawdown, said Fifi Boafo, a spokesman at Cocoa Board. Management has decided to avoid an overstretch in the repayment. He said, Ghana's funding challenges come as the cocoa harvest for 2023-2024 looks set to total about 500 to 425,000 tons. Half the country's initial forecast. Half of our initial forecast. According to sources familiar with the matter, without Cocoa Board payments, farmers won't be able to afford the seedlings, chemicals, and fertilizers that are essential to a healthy crop. Cocoa Board, which has previously obtained loans from investors at better rates than the government, would normally conduct an investor roadshow between June and July each year and sign a syndicated facility in September before the new harvest begins in October. Last year, the talks were complicated by the West African nation's debt restructuring. As a consequence, it only signed a loan agreement in December and at a record high interest rate of 8%. It was originally scheduled to access the final tranche in January. Standard Chartered PLC and Societe Generale SA were among other banks participating in the syndicated loan. So, why this story is even important is that some 4 years back, Kwesi and Nana, we hit 1.1 million. Then we came down to about 900,000. Then it came to about 730,000. Now, the forecast for this year, you remember when the Cocoa Board went to Parliament, they forecasted about 800,000 plus. The reality is that we are told that we are going to be doing about 425,000, which is like half of the forecast. So we have dropped from 1.1 million just about 4 or 5 years ago to 425,000. And even with the 800 million that normally we secure 1.5 billion, 1 billion. Even with the 800 million, we have decided not to even go for the last 200 million because we don't have the beans to support that. This is the situation with our cocoa.
Yeah, but this was predictable. I mean, those who have been watching the cocoa industry over the last 4 or 5 years tell that this was coming. Many cocoa farms have been destroyed as a result of illegal mining. Many cocoa farms have been destroyed. Some of the farmers have willingly sold their farms and land to the illegal miners. Now, those who refuse to sell, the illegal miners just flood the land, destroy the cocoa, and they are compelled, eventually to sell. And this has been going on for the last maybe 5, 6 years. So I'm not particularly surprised by the drop in production. Some reports have attributed that to disease trees, which is possible. It's plausible. But I think that the main thing that has caused, the low production of cocoa is illegal mining, and I've been tracking it for the last 3, 4, 5 years, and I'm not surprised at all.
Well, there are those who say that the illegal mining issue is there, but there are issues that are deeper than that. The issues of disease trees. And so you go back and you look at how much money we have spent in trying to deal with these diseases. I'll pull out a lot of correspondence, Cocoa Board, the initiatives they said that they were taking to deal with these issues. Now, recently, it's even come up that something like cocoa roads now constitutes about 80% of the exposure of Cocoa Board, something which is not their core mandate. That's the level of exposure. When the World Bank guys came in, the debt at Cocoa Board was about, I think, 21 billion. Then they were asked to bring it down. The 21 billion has to do with just roads. So they've been asked to bring it down to as low as 6 billion in terms of their exposure to just roads alone. So it appears that they are also focused and spending on things that are also not actually facilitating the growth of the sector.
No, there are many factors involved, but I think that one crucial factor is illegal mining. I mentioned disease trees as one of the factors. Now, if you look at the framework, the arrangement, for purchasing cocoa beans, it has also changed drastically. You now have a situation where local buying companies, the LBCs, are collapsing. But many of them have collapsed to the extent that there's a certain monopoly, by foreign companies engaged in the purchase of cocoa and so on. And that itself has a ripple effect. Now, that became evident a little while ago when foreign buying companies started providing incentives way above the local buying companies. And therefore, the local buying companies could not buy enough, and they became financially distressed. So that's part of the problem in the industry. Now, there's something that I cannot understand. I mean, if you look at Ghana's history of cocoa production, we started producing cocoa way back, from the days of Tete Kwashi and so on. And it is strange, absolutely strange, that up until today, we need foreign financing to be able to buy cocoa. Simply doesn't make sense. You understand? That after all these years of being a leading producer of cocoa, we were not just producers of cocoa. Indeed, at one stage, we were the world's leading producer of cocoa, and we maintained that position over a long period of time. And in spite of all of these factors, every year, you have to go and seek foreign financing in order to be able to purchase cocoa. The other problem with the industry is this idea of forward selling. You know, we engage in the futures trade. So we do not benefit from the rise in prices as indicated by Bloomberg. You know, a rise to more than $10,000 per ton. We are not beneficial because we sold the cocoa we are producing this year in advance. You know, so these are all the complications. The other complication is the one that you mentioned, which is using the cocoa industry to borrow excessively for things that do not concern the industry at all, or things that cannot be considered a core function of the Cocoa Board. That's one of the major problems that we have. I mean, the roads which are financed by Cocoa Board are classified as cocoa roads. And the understanding is that these roads are constructed in order to make evacuation of cocoa from the growing areas to the ports, you know, easier. Unfortunately for us, sometimes some of the roads that are constructed with Cocoa Board money, borrowed money, do not actually fit into this category. And then there's this notion that cocoa is for the production of chocolates alone. That's false. Completely false. I've been following the Cocoa Research Institute at TAFA. And the kinds of things that they've been able to do with cocoa is unimaginable. I mean, whiskey. They produce whiskey from cocoa. They produce gin from cocoa. They produce brandy from cocoa. They produce soap from cocoa. And in fact, they produce two kinds of soap. The Alata Samina and the cocoa toilet soap. You understand?
That's not a good nomenclature.
Yeah, but that's what it's called.
Cocoa soup.
Yeah.
Cocoa soup.
Yeah. So,
not what you said.
No, there are different types of soap.
Yeah, I don't dispute all of that. I'm just saying that
The type of soap they produce.
the nomenclature was a bit odd.
Yeah, but that's what
It sounded.
I get what you're saying, but
If I could say, to buttress your point,
yeah.
you know, why must a country, almost 70 years after independence, be celebrating road shows, which we now cannot even do, you know, and touting the success and being able to syndicate loans to buy beans?
Yeah.
I hope you understand what I'm saying.
Exactly the point I'm making. Exactly the point I'm making, you know.
Because even if you were to, assuming that your production level was even 420,000, and you were adding value to the 420,000, you would not even have a problem.
Exactly.
Assuming that were your capacity.
Exactly. And that was the whole point of Nkrumah's development plan. Nkrumah's development plan was for us to get to a point where we were not exporting, you know, raw beans, and we're utilizing the raw beans to produce things that are needed here and are needed elsewhere. I mean, the cocoa soup, for example, is sold by the high-end fashion industry abroad. Ghana made cocoa soup, you understand? And there was a time when I was in Europe and I went to a cosmetic shop. And I was surprised. They were selling Ghana-made cocoa soup at £5 a cake. £5 a cake. Meanwhile, here it's sold for nothing. Okay. And I'm surprised that we have not provided the needed resources for us to go into full commercial production of what the Cocoa Research Institute is doing. I mean, I've been buying some of their products and I sell some to my visitors and so on. I mean, the brandy, for example, people who know brandy, I don't know brandy. People who know brandy say that it is one of the best quality brandies they've ever tasted. You understand? Brandy, what is the problem? The high quality brandy produced by Cocoa Research Institute is bottled in plastics. Unbelievable. Bottled in plastics.
So the packaging.
The packaging. That alone could lift them to a certain level and so on. But we are not doing that. And we are comfortable with every year going to syndicate loans, buying the beans and exporting the raw beans and so on. That's part of the huge problem that confronts us. Now we are told that at some point we're being told that cocoa is the mainstay of the Ghanaian economy. I don't think it is now.
No, it's not.
It's not.
Now it's gold.
Yeah, I don't think it is now. But you see, even if it plays a secondary role or a tertiary role and so on, it is something that we should have guarded seriously. Okay, we haven't. There's another school of thought which says that we should actually be moving away from cocoa production to food production, because many of our people don't actually consume cocoa. And in fact, if you go to areas where they consume a lot of chocolate and other beverages and so on, cocoa is a dessert. Okay? So we are busily producing other people's dessert and neglecting the production of food for ourselves. And dessert is something that people can do without, and so on. So I think that there's a general need to review the whole cocoa sector and to come up with new policies which ensure that we get the maximum benefit out of cocoa production. We are not. And because we are not getting the maximum benefit out of cocoa production, we have tended also to impoverish the farmers. You know, cocoa farmers are some of the poorest people in this country. We have tended to impoverish them. And I think that's also a huge problem. Those who produce must substantially benefit from their work. And I don't think that they are benefiting substantially from their work.
Now, you know, earlier on I was telling you about some of the problems. There used to be a division, a cocoa board called the Cocoa Health and Extension Division, CHED, you know. And I'm told by some people who are more familiar with the workings of that industry, that look, we, for example, took a loan from, we took a facility from AFDB and the World Bank to take care of about 156,400 hectares of cocoa farms. The money has been fully expended, and we've not done even 20% of these farms.
So where did the money go?
Yes, that's the $1 million question.
So where did the money go?
Anyway.
Where's the source of the information?
Well, it's okay. It's a source that I've cultivated in the industry. Yes, that the CHED, Cocoa Health and Extension Division. I say that division is almost virtually comatose now, and that we had this facility from AFDB and the World Bank, and we're supposed to take over 156,400 hectares of cocoa farms.
I'm sure
Not even 20%.
You are also aware of a factory which is in Asia, which is producing chocolate called Ghana chocolate.
Yes.
I'm sure you're aware of that.
Yes. Yes.
And that factory is only, you know, benefiting from Ghana's name.
Yeah, they're taking advantage.
Ghana produces some of the best cocoa in the world. You know. Meanwhile, what are we doing with the beans? We produce Golden Tree chocolate. And as far as I can remember from childhood, the Golden Tree chocolate has always been considered as the best chocolate in the world. And yet, you go to the high-end supermarkets and so on, you don't find Golden Tree there. If you want to buy Golden Tree, you buy it at the Mamobi, Kawukuri Junction, and places like that, and so on. So there's a problem with the way we have looked at the entire cocoa industry, you know, from cultivation of the cocoa through its utilization in industry and so on. Now, we are now going to have a very big problem. One, because China has now also decided to go into cocoa cultivation. I'm sure both of you are aware that China is going into cocoa cultivation full time. And I've seen videos of what the Chinese are trying to do. And Masa, in no time, will be overtaken. They just entered the industry a couple of years ago, and they are making such huge strides because they are developing appropriate technology, you know, and so on. Our farmers cut the pod with cutlasses and so on. They develop machines for doing that.
No, even here, how it is dried, they've done something. They've created something, an Aprotec thing that dries the thing faster and more efficiently and all that.
So I mean, very soon they would beat us if they haven't come close to beating us already.
Right.
You understand?
Okay.
So all of these are problems of the industry.
Right. Now, let me bring you. Let me hear your views on this.
I have no clue about cocoa business. Never really bothered to find out.
You don't have a cocoa farm?
No. But I know of people who have it, but I never really asked for details. And when I've heard stories about cocoa, it's always, kind of in passing. When it makes the news, then you want to understand what's going on. This sounds like something that would require cocoa experts to discuss properly so that we can fully appreciate exactly what's going on. It's easy to run commentary and say all kinds of things, but I think facts and truth are what will really benefit us. But one thing is clear that I know about, because that I have an interest in, is this Galamsey thing and tree felling, illegal tree felling, and all of that, and its effect on cocoa farming. That much is something I'm confident about. And I'm not...
So this is the Chinese thing I was talking about?
Right.
So it's something very simple.
Yes.
That they can dry the beans.
Yes.
Yeah. Normal.
And the effect of all of those illegal things on our agriculture, and in this case, cocoa. I've heard live stories, cocoa farmers complaining about what has happened to their farms because of Galamsey. In this instance, the cocoa farmer didn't want to give up their land. In other instances, the cocoa farmer hardly gives up their land because the Galamsey money on the face of it appears more fruity. And we have that problem. I think that as a totality, we have not helped this situation, and we are the cause of what is going on. All of Ghana. When this Galamsey thing has happened, we've left it to one government or the other to be the sole fighters of it. Ghanaians have sat back and watched. And when one government or the other says, I'm fighting it, then they sit back and watch. Getting involved in making sure it takes effect has not been our strongest point. And this is where it would go. Honestly, knowing what Galamsey has done to the country over the last 20 years or so in particular, says to me that this was expected even much earlier than it's happening. We must understand that. And when you've dug the earth and destroyed the portion of the earth where growth takes place, where the earth is fertile, so you can grow things. My geography eludes me right now, but there's a term for that. The top soil. That's the word. When you've taken it off, recovering it, regardless of the science, is not that easy. Regardless of the science, it's not that easy. Reclamation and everything can take place, but you don't get the same quality that gives you the high quality grade of a product or a produce that you're looking for when you've destroyed your soil. And that's what we've been doing. So for me, this was inevitable. Cutting down our supply to about half of what we should be targeting. It shouldn't be a surprise to us. I think other issues have been raised here, and I think, I stick to the fact that it would be really good to hear experts about it. For example, this matter of the diseases on the trees. What's the effect of that? I've heard on quite a few occasions from the Cocoa Board chief executive and from their PR director, Fifi, about how much work they've put into trying to fight disease over quite a period. I've also heard them, and in fact, aggressively, they have put out encouragement for cocoa seedlings. To, in fact, in Achimebwako, I know that there's an effort by the palace and other palaces to encourage farmers to get into that because it's an opportunity. And you see, the effect of that is also the environmental impact effect as well, because it's a green, plant. So it's good to grow for those who already are in the space and even those who want to. So all that effort is being put in there. Now the reality and the fact is that it takes about 2 to 3 years for a cocoa tree to get to the level where it can start giving you a harvest. And while you were talking, I just did a quick search, and it takes another maybe year or two to actually get to the point where it's giving you a full bloom, and then after that it's running free with its productivity. So all of that takes a while. So even if, let's say, Cocoa Board of today started their replanting thing 5 years ago, we're now supposed to be in the period where we're going to begin to see some kind of good harvest. So it wouldn't come into this. But
to have 50%,
yeah,
to go 50% off your target, is
a crazy thing.
Yes,
and that's what I'm saying. It'll be good for us to hear from them, because a good question is, could it not be seen last year? You know what I'm saying?
Because the drop in the last 3 years,
will begin.
You see the decline.
You see.
Then you see the 800,000. And I remember that when the 800,000 was made,
right,
some MPs had worries over that and said that they didn't see the basis. And they thought that the only reason was to use that to shore up financial figures.
Right.
Because the expected yield is also directly linked to the financials of the company.
Right.
And so they thought that, look, there was no basis for that projection other than to just fill a certain financial gap.
Right.
But of course, these things, it is just a matter of time. The reality will set in. Yes. So to go about 50% off the mark projection, that's crazy. It's crazy.
And so if there was a way, it would be nice to hear from Fifi this morning. If maybe Annie, the producer, can get us, it would be really good to hear, because this is an issue. Now, on the matter of, because you raised some two things that didn't necessarily have to do with the 50% drop, but is a cocoa matter of sorts. One was whether we should be looking at other produce to fill in for, depending on other things other than cocoa. And then the other was a matter of why aren't we supplying resources for people to invest in products of cocoa.
You mean value addition?
Value addition of products of cocoa, yeah. In the first instance, I think it's a very interesting proposal in the sense that if those lands, in this case now we don't even know if they exist anymore because of Galamsey, but if those lands are there and we have certain targets for food self-sufficiency, and we can ensure that the farmers would get what they deserve from land, maybe it's something we should really look at. Because food self-sufficiency is not just for our own consumption. It can actually include exports and all of that, yeah. So it's an interesting proposal. I don't know I haven't gone into the maximum projections for planting for food and jobs in its phase 2.
But my view is that they are mutually inclusive.
So it'll be good to. But you see, this is one of those things that it will be a clear policy target to say, look, Okay, so we've lost X amounts of cocoa, whatever, lands to cocoa, blah, blah, blah. It will take us X amount of time to get our cocoa status back. Why don't we invest in making...
Because for me,
and
the real issue in this cocoa thing, which is a no-brainer, has to do with the value addition. It's completely a no-brainer.
Which is the next...
Yeah, it's a no-brainer because if you take tiny Belgium, they don't produce a pod of cocoa.
No.
Yet they make a minimum of $10 billion. I've not even spoken about Switzerland.
Right.
I've not spoken about Germany, who, even though they don't produce cocoa, have the cocoa museum,
Right.
where people go to learn how cocoa is grown until chocolate is made. A museum in Germany.
Right.
They have even seen the wisdom in doing something like that for people who enjoy the value-added products to really see.
That one is a cultural thing, and all of you guys don't
to really see.
That one is all of you.
To really see how what the chocolate you're eating, how it starts and all that. That's in Germany.
Yeah.
But tiny Belgium makes a minimum of 10 billion. Ghana makes less than 400 million value addition. Now, if you take Ghana being the second world best producer, assuming that Ghana will be producing 30% of the world's cocoa, the highest Ghana makes is $1.5 billion. That's in our best times. We've made 1.5 billion in the syndicated loans. Now, we have dropped, even 800 million, we're unable to access it. We are doing like 600 million. Now we're talking about 400 something thousand tons. So you are Africa's number 2. You are saying the world's number 3 or so. And yet, all you make from that tag is, let's say, about 600 million. A tiny country somewhere that does not produce a pod, does not do fertilizer, disease, whatever, all those communities, cocoa rose and all that, is making 10 billion.
No, Randy,
it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, that is the second issue that Kwesi raised. And my response is, who should supply what? Because the facts are clear. Well, CSIR does the research. They find the products. They're there for anybody who was interested to go for it. Government puts in a policy about encouraging industry. Tells you clearly, if you're interested in industry, come. What else should be done? The public, the business public, must also be interested. And I think that's where, as a collective, all of us, because when people think about setting up business, they don't think about those things. They think more about things that can be imported and all of that, instead of considering what we have.
So then I asked one question.
People don't buy what we produce.
So I asked one question. I say that on that part, I have a little disagreement with you.
By all means.
Okay. And it has to do with...
Notice I said by all means.
Yes. And it has to do with what should government do, because I get the impression that as far as you're concerned, government has played its part.
It's playing its part. You see, so it's a continuous
So the issue of playing its part.
Yeah.
You see, government by its strategy, even in terms of financing, gives me the impression that the issue of, even when we are talking about how to salvage the city, what will strengthen the city, you would hear the first thing is that, when the cocoa syndicated loans kick in, we expect $1 billion. That will help stabilize the economy. So even from the point of view of policy, we are looking at selling the raw beans or using the raw beans as a bait to attract $1 billion to show up our currency. And that is where I even think that the fundamental problem is.
No, the reason why...
No, so let me explain it. So then the question I ask is that if the strategy is that we want to move from exploiting the raw beans to syndicate 1 billion, to say making 5 billion from value addition, what is the one policy initiative, that we have put out that specifically targets value addition as far as cocoa is concerned?
It may not be as specific as you want, but it's out there.
No, but shouldn't it be?
Randy, If you notice, when you raised the issue, I said it is doing. It hasn't done. Government hasn't done it. Government is doing it. In other words, the policy is there and it's a continuum. It's there for those who want to see it. And it's a matter of fact. It may not be as specific as we're raising this morning. And for all you know, up until this morning, it's probably never been a discussion in public. For all you know. So the point is, yes, the policy...
Now, we've had this discussion for more than 20 years.
No.
True.
No. It's not true.
True.
Not for me.
Good morning, Ghana.
No.
We have discussed this thing for more than 20 years.
We've discussed cocoa pricing.
No.
And
value addition.
No,
more than 20 years.
With government policy.
More than 20 years.
Well, as for me, I don't remember that.
Yes.
And I'm saying for me, it's the first time.
I remember I've even shown about 10 or 15 years ago, I even showed the data.
Yeah. But
Randy, the value addition, the countries, Switzerland, Belgium, all of them, how much they make from value addition.
The last time I was here, another issue came up, and I was talking about lessons learned and the fact that we need to use it to progress. The fact is that we've come to this point where certain things are there. By the time we're done with this program, if somebody is listening to us with a good ear, as far as I'm concerned, existing policy should just be topped up to focus on this matter, if it's not there. And I'm asking this in humility because, why? We're not claiming to be the ones with all the brains.
Of course.
It's just a topic on the table. And this thought has come, which is, if we have a policy, and we do have a policy, on industrialization, and we have all else out there, the shortcomings of all sides existing now are laid out. In the case of government, it has a policy. How hard has it pushed it to be specific? We've just raised a certain weakness maybe in that policy. And I'm referring to the 1D1F policy. If the 1D1F policy, a portion of it hasn't been zeroed out to say, look, we're targeting cocoa, go and do it. So that's something that they should look at. I'm saying CSIR and all the things that is done, and Kwesi listed the things. There's soap. When he said cocoa, the soap. I don't want to repeat it because to some. I buy that soap when I can, and CSIR makes the soap. For me, I can't buy it often because they are not able to do it the way to get it on the commercial level, and it's not their calling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, for example, when I use it, and CSIR, I hope you're not taking this the wrong way, because I encourage everybody to buy that soap. It's actually very good. When you use the scent is really strong, so it's difficult to use. But it's a very good soap, because when you use it, you actually literally feel good. They do that. They do the gin, they do the whiskey, they do all kinds of things. And now we promote cocoa as a health product in Ghana. CSIR's problem is that I don't know whether it's an internal problem or whatever resource they're supposed to get doesn't go. But they don't promote their work
It's
enough.
more of the second one.
They don't promote their work enough. Well, we don't hear them complain. They should complain.
Oh, they do.
Really?
They do.
Well,
they do. We don't push their complaints.
well, then let's
that
push
much.
it because that's where
They do.
So if you know,
and it's also how we see them, because you know that these professionals, they are predominantly technical, academic people.
Right.
You understand me? So issues about packaging and all those things. I mean, that's not their primary stuff.
But it's
so
for
going
us.
to the next, going to the next level.
So then it brings
how
us,
do you position them? How do
so
you?
it brings us to the business people and the business community. They need to be inward looking. You know. On
Do you
these
know
matters.
some people who are into value addition of cocoa?
Yes.
You know some people?
Yeah.
Okay.
Quite a few.
When we
you know Ohene Farms.
yes, when we
they
leave
do
when we leave the program, or maybe they can even text you if they're watching. Find out from them, or I am sure that after this program, people who know you and are watching, who have been interested in getting into the sector value addition, they might call you. You'll be shocked to find out that one of the most difficult things to get is a letter from Cocoa Board confirming that indeed they will supply you with beans if you set up a factory.
That's true.
The most difficult thing that a business person or entity desirous of setting up a value-added
But here's
company.
my question. Why do they need to go to Cocoa Board?
That's the cocoa board is
Because
the.
the law does not allow anybody to buy cocoa.
Yes, they are the
Buying of
mandated. So
cocoa
even on the license buying companies, you are.
It's kind of like football. You can't set up football without the GFA.
Yes, unless it's for your recreation. But if it's so for many of them, I want to set up a company. I do the business case for the company. Maybe I'll need, let's say, X tons of cocoa per year. It is cocoa board that has the cocoa. A license buying company cannot sell to me directly.
Yeah.
So I need at least that assurance that I would have this cocoa beans before I can go and set up the company. Otherwise, I'll set up the company, and if I don't get the beans, what happens?
Good. So that's
The most difficult thing to get, which means that even the company itself is thinking of the beans, the syndicated loan, and the
but you see, so now if policy is being created, it should be answering all of this. But here's the thing. We're talking about cocoa-related products, so not everything depends on the beans.
no, everything depends on.
No, it doesn't.
Unless you're talking about the pods and
the
all
pods,
that.
yeah.
But that's the
So I'm saying,
but
those are
that's
the
really
things, that's okay.
the major ones really are from the
That's
beans.
okay. See,
There are a lot of products.
the soap that is that Kwesi was referring, is not made
From the pod itself.
It's made from, So I'm saying that all of that is also available for people to do. Those who are in it, they're not making the sales they expect. They expect to make sales, because we're not buying it. So that's the other angle. So if you notice, I'm saying every side of this thing has an issue. The effort that we need to put in collectively to make this thing become a space for people to invest in should be evident, and it should be tried from all angles. I don't think walking into CSIR and asking questions on what can be done, what you can do with cocoa products, waste, blah, 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 is out of the way. It's the same with palm oil and all, and palm itself. A whole host of things, coconut. So if we're talking about other things outside of this fundamental problem we've seen, where cocoa pricing has gone up, and yet we're not going to be beneficiaries because of this, there are a whole host of areas that we must look at under this issue. My last comment is a repeat comment. It would be nice to hear from the experts on this matter. On a show like this, it would be nice to hear the experts on it. And the reason I say on a show like this is for obvious reasons. A whole lot of people listening. So it's crucial that we hear from them. And we hear from Cocoa Board because some of these issues, in fact, most of the issues are their space. Yeah.
All right, so we'll take a break. When we return, the NDC says that there's palpable judicial bias in the scheduling of political cases in the Supreme Court of Ghana. Do they have a case against the judiciary? Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana Live on Metro TV. Still with me on the show, I have Kwesi Pratt Jr. and Nana Fredua Freata. Now, what does wealth mean to you? Do you want to live like a tycoon? Remember, I was got the Mola, got the power. Ghana's newest lottery game draws live on Adom TV at 9 a.m., 12 noon, and 6 p.m. daily. Now pick up your phones, tablets, and computers and download the Game Park Games app on Play Store. You can also play on the website at www.gameparkgames.com or by dialing *946# on all networks. Just choose 4 numbers from 0 to 9. It's easy to play and easy to win. Charlie, make we play this game and make some mola. Nobody beats our odds in Ghana. Game Park Games, more mola, more power. This game is regulated by a National Lottery Authority and is not for persons under 18. Play responsibly. Ayesoko, that Kosovo down be big, but Betway's cash out be bigger. Betway is giving you more control over every thrilling bet you place. Enjoy the biggest and most reliable cash out in Ghana on Betway without any hassle. Sign up today at betway.com.gh. Terms and conditions apply. This is not for persons under 18 and is regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Betway, get way more. And Blue Jeans Energy Drink has been on the Ghanaian market for over 20 years. We already know what it does for the body. It contains vitamins and nutrients like vitamin B2, B3, B6, B12, as well as taurine and guarana. which are known to boost your strength and energy as well as promote high performance and endurance. Blue Jeans energy drink has been tested and tried. It's indeed the best. Blue Jeans energy drink is for bold and active men and women. So go on, grab a cold can and power your day. It's in shops nationwide. For bulk purchases, contact Budget Cash and Carry Limited on 0208 128 190 055 001 0000. Okay. So there's a statement issued by the NDC signed by Fifi Fiavikwete, General Secretary. And it's titled, NDC reacts to palpable judicial bias in the scheduling of political cases in the Supreme Court of Ghana. And he reads, the National Democratic Congress has become aware of the decision by the Chief Justice of Ghana to list the case of Roxy Nelson, HK Defemokpo, versus the Speaker of Parliament and Attorney General, suit number J1/12/2024 for hearing on Wednesday, 27th March 2024. That's today. The NDC is intrigued by the listing of the Defemokpo case for hearing ahead of the case of Richard Delaskai versus the Parliament of Ghana and the Attorney General. It is interesting to know that Richard Delaskai filed his writ of summons in the Supreme Court challenging the constitutionality of the Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill 2024 on the 5th of March 2024. This was almost 2 clear weeks before Honorable Roxy Defemokpo filed his writ of summons on 18th March 2024 challenging the constitutionality of the latest ministerial nominations by the President. Given the recent political deadlock that these two legal suits have created between the executive arm and the legislative arm of government, one would have expected that the date of filing of the cases would have informed the timing of their hearing by the Apex Court. Yet, for some strange reasons, the case of Honorable Roxy Defemokpo, which was last in time to be filed, has been hurriedly listed for hearing today, while that of Richard Delaskai, which predated the Defemokpo case by 2 weeks, has not been listed for hearing at all. This is in spite of the fact that no application for abridgment of time has been filed by any of the parties in the Defemokpo case. It is quite apparent that this is a ploy by the Chief Justice to fast-track the determination of the suit filed by Honorable Roxy Defemokpo, while the determination of the Richard Delaskai suit is deliberately and unduly delayed to enable the President shelve the crucial Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill that has been passed by Parliament. Even more bizarre is the fact that the case filed by some NDC members of Parliament challenging the constitutionality of the passage of the Electronic Transfer Levy, e-levy bill, as far back as 2022, has not been listed for hearing by the Supreme Court till date. The arbitrary exercise of administrative discretion by the Chief Justice, particularly in the scheduling of cases in the Supreme Court, goes to fortify the high perception of bias on the part of the judiciary. Such judicial manipulations go to confirm the growing public perception that the current Chief Justice is a pliant accomplice and abettor of the misrule of the despotic Akufo-Addo Bawumia NPP government. While the Constitution of Ghana vests discretionary powers in the Chief Justice in the discharge of the administrative duties over the judiciary, it is important that such discretionary powers are not exercised arbitrarily, capriciously, and whimsically. Judicial independence must mean exactly that. At no point should the judiciary act in a manner that lends itself to the grounded belief that it is willing to aid an overbearing executive in a standoff with the legislature. The Chief Justice must appreciate that justice emanates from the people and that the judiciary exists to serve the overall interests of the state and not the interests of any particular political party or government. As such, fairness and balance must at all times shine throughout their work. The listing of this particular case filed much later than the Sky case does not reflect these vital prerequisites. We have come too far in our constitutional journey to allow such glaring manipulations to pass without protest. Such behavior, as constantly exhibited by the Chief Justice against entities opposed to the MPP, has gone on for too long. This does not only undermine public confidence in the judiciary, but it also makes mockery of our democratic arrangements. There can be no earthly justification for listing the Defemokpo case ahead of the Richard Sky case. And we demand an immediate rectification of this travesty. As the political tradition that birthed the Fourth Republican Democracy and Constitution, we are extremely concerned about this biased handling of cases by the Chief Justice, which appears to be fueling the ever-festering perception of judicial bias in the country. These acts of judicial arbitrariness, tilted in favor of the ruling Akufo-Addo Bawumia NPP government, do not engender public confidence and trust in our justice delivery system. And this should give every well-meaning Ghanaian legitimate cause for concern. So that's it. Now, This is from the NDC. And interestingly, last week, when we were dealing with the Speaker's ruling on this matter, I passed the comment that, look, now it appears that the ball is in the court of the judiciary. Since the issues are related, those cases, I would, and here I'm talking about the application for injunction, I would, and I even said that I don't think that I'm in a position to advise the judiciary. But from a public interest point of view, I would wish that the CJ listed all those cases for the same day, so that we deal with the cases the same day and then we see our way clear. But this is the case that the NDC is raising. They say that some cases were filed earlier. Those applications for injunction are the basis for the president's decision. The one that was filed later, which is also the basis for the Speaker's decision not to go ahead, Parliament to go ahead with the issue of the Speaker, has been listed for hearing today, although it was filed 2 weeks after the ones that the President relied on. Yes, the CJ, by the Constitution, has the discretion administratively to do this, but we also know that discretionary power by the Constitution states clearly must not be utilized in a certain way, must be seen to be fair and all that. Now they're saying that there is absolutely no basis apart from politics for the CJ to list the Defamation case ahead of the others that have been filed 2 weeks earlier.
And I find all of this to be some kind of joke or something. Is the NDC...
JOK?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is the NDC now dictating how the judiciary should work? Is that what they're doing? What's the benefit of this for us? Where is it going to take us? This argument that they are raising. They want to tell the Chief Justice what to do. And they want us to follow them. It's not going to happen as far as I'm concerned. It doesn't help us in any way. The language here, the thinking, the direction is all strange to me. And strange is a very diplomatic word. Yes, I mean, I don't understand where this is going. What's the point? What's the real point? To draw the public against the judiciary. That same mentality that brought PNDC and all of those things. Is that what they're bringing back? Where is it going to take us? What's the real benefit of this? It's not even about the cases. It's about the NDC's position on these things. The cases are a different matter. So this, what's the NDC trying to tell us? I mean, when you make a statement like such judicial manipulations, how dare they? In Ghana, NDC. They don't know, Fifi doesn't know the history of this country. Was he in Togo when President Rawlings called Justice Archer to the castle? We were in this country. Such judicial manipulations go to confirm the growing public perception that the current which public? The current Chief Justice is a pliant accomplice and arbiter of the misrule of the despotic. What is this? Despotic. Does he understand what despotic means? Does the NDC agree with as a totality? Because he's written for NDC, doesn't mean that everybody in NDC agrees with this kind of language. Despotic. In Ghana today. In fact, let me add some drama to my comment. To Kwesi Pratt's Ghana, there's despots here. Oh, it's not true. So I don't know where this is going. Another comment I found there are a whole host of other sentences, but here's another one I underlined. The Chief Justice must appreciate that justice emanates. They want to tell the Chief Justice where justice comes from and how justice is managed. I don't understand this.
Then are you suggesting that no citizen of Ghana has the right to comment on actions of the Chief Justice or any member of the judiciary?
Everybody has a comment, has a right to that.
So, why do you want to take that right?
They've got themselves. They also have a right to comment on the comments.
No, but when you say how dare them?
Yes, how dare
them?
What is
their how dare them?
It is my comment.
They don't have a right?
No. On what basis
But they've established the basis.
No. Who are they? We know the NDC in this country.
Yes.
I've given you one example. In fact, it's the primary example.
Yes.
In this country, the NDC, it wasn't even PNDC, it was the NDC. President Rawlings called the justice to the castle to ask him why he had passed a certain judgment. This is the same kind of thing that's going on here. Is that what helps this country? Is that how governance is? Is that how we're supposed to see ourselves? We should continue to give the public the impression that depending on who is in office, judgments must go a certain way. So right now, as far as the NDC is concerned, because the NPP is in government, judgments are going NDC's way, MPP's way, and that they won't tolerate it, which then implies that as for them, when they come into office, then justice will go their way. And that's how we're going to run this country. Is that what we're saying?
So,
because when you make a comment like this, I mean, Randy, what does this mean? What does this mean? The Chief Justice must appreciate that justice emanates from the people and that the judiciary exists to serve the overall interests of the state and not the interest of any particular political party. Where is it coming from? What is the justification for this comment?
but I thought that the justification for that comment was made in the earlier paragraph.
Which is that...
But you have the statement before.
No,
Yes.
that, you see, are they trying to tell the Chief Justice what to do? That the Chief Justice should schedule things according to their thinking?
Yeah, but their view is that, Nana, their view is that.
Good.
So that's where the issue of justice must not just be done, but must be seen to be done.
Right.
They're saying that. And I said that is what even influenced what I said last week.
Good.
Not because I even knew this was going to happen.
Good.
Of course, I don't have the powers of prophecy, so
Good.
I didn't know this was going to happen. But you have two, and I'm using two broadly because the cases are more than two, but you have two broadly. You have a rift between the executive and the legislature. Both of them are citing applications for injunction as a basis for they not proceeding with what they should do. Now, the executive is the one that cited it first, the president, that it has come to my attention that these cases have been filed, and so I'm staying off my hands. And I think everybody should stay off their hands on the matter. The legislature, in responding to that 2 weeks after, says that I've also just been made aware of a suit. So going by the president's admonition and logic and everything on the matter, we're also staying our hands on it. Now, so you have two applications before the Supreme Court. One done 2 weeks apart. Now the NDC says that it's come to his knowledge that the one which was done 2 weeks later has been fixed for hearing today. However, the ones that were filed 2 weeks earlier had not been fixed for hearing. And they even go further to refer to a case that they filed in 2022 on the E-levy, which has still not been fixed for hearing. Yet something that was filed a week ago or so has been fixed for hearing. And they are saying that although the Constitution gives the CJ the administrative power to do these things, the exercise of that discretionary power is also dictated by the Constitution. That it must be seen to be fair, it must not be seen to be capricious, it must not be seen to be this. And that in their view, by listing this case, which was filed 2 weeks later, the CJ is exhibiting all the things that they are talking about. So they have laid a basis for it. Unless you disagree with the basis that they have laid, to say that if these cases were filed 2 weeks earlier, they should not have been listed first, or that the CJ should not have held a view that, look, because this is about the executive and legislature, there's a friction. Can't we hear all these cases on the same day and deal with them and move on? But that this one has been listed, and the ones that were done 2 weeks ago have not even been listed for hearing, and that's their basis for the bias accusation.
Randy, is the court, are the courts a political institution?
They shouldn't be.
But are they?
Political, I'm not sure. Maybe you want to ask if they are partisan.
Are they a political institution? It's a straight question, Randy. Are they a political institution? Is the judiciary a political institution? It's a straight question. When you start asking me if or this, and then you're trying to read my mind. Don't. Are they a political institution?
Well, it depends on what you define as political.
No, what is a political institution?
No, it depends on what you define as political.
What is a political institution? A political institution is very clear. So what is it? Politics is politics, and therefore what is a political institution, Randy?
No, you tell me. I don't know.
Oh, Randy, I want you to answer that.
No, I don't know. That's why I asked you if you were referring to partisan. But if you say not partisan but politics, then I want to understand what you mean by a political institution.
The judiciary is not a political institution. And so it must not pander to political interests. And the rest of us must want a sanctuary of a non-political institution, especially when it's the judiciary.
Yes.
And so why are we approaching this from this angle? This angle does not show that we recognize it as a non-political institution of which we want to uphold. When you use words like the words that have been used here to make the same case, as for making the case, if you notice, it's not my problem. It is the how they are approaching. Why should we be talking like that to the judiciary?
Nana, why should, for example, why should we not have an understanding? I am not a lawyer. I have never been a judge. I'm not sure I'll ever be a judge. Now, shouldn't we have an understanding of why, for example, a case, and I have tried to show the similarities in the case, and the fact that there's currently a friction between two arms of government as a result of both cases. If you have a situation where you have one being listed, the one which was filed later, and the ones that were filed earlier, not listed, would any reasonable person not want to find out why?
Good. Is that question asked here in a manner that will solicit a response? When you're insulting me, you think I'll give you an answer? And that's my point, Randy. I'm saying that there's no problem with raising a query and wanting some kind of resolve. But don't undermine the institution. That's what this thing is doing. And why do we want to encourage that? Knowing the history of this country, especially to do with the judiciary and to do with the legislature.
Should the institution itself also not be minded?
And this is the way to do it?
No, I'm saying that must the institution also not be minded? And I'm choosing my words carefully.
Good.
That look, with all the accusations, counter-accusations, with the kind of environment that we have, in acting on such matters, shouldn't the institution itself be also interested in how the exercise of the CJ's administrative functions be seen as dishing out justice, as being fair and just in going about things?
If we want a stable democracy, a governance system that is working, something that will give us results, do we resolve all of these questions from this approach? Do we resolve that from this approach? You have a problem. You want it resolved. Is this how to resolve it? When you're calling people names, you think
what will you recommend?
Say the same thing in a better way. This language is not the kind you put out. What you're saying here is that everybody should stop respecting the CJ and the Supreme Court because they are biased. They are supporting a despotic system. Is that what's going to help us? That's what they are saying. That's what Fifi Kwete and the NDC are telling us. That this is how, is this the language to use when you want a response? To say that such judicial manipulations, are those the words to use if you are soliciting for progress in this country? That's the question I'm asking. There can be no earthly justification for this. What do you mean? You haven't solicited. How would you know? You are trying to tell us that as for you, you have the answer. There's no earthly justification. You're the only ones who have the answer. Nobody else can think. Is that what you're saying? When you use language like that? As the political tradition that birthed the Fourth Republic. Really? let's not even go there. Do you know what it took? There was a judicial system in place before the Fourth Republic, of which you are the descendants of the coup makers, were fought in order to get this Fourth Republic. It doesn't come hand in a thing like that. This thing for me is not good. It doesn't serve any purpose for us. It only creates more animosity. It's trying to divide the country against the judiciary. The attack on government is not my problem because they are the opposition party. But the judiciary, why would you do that? Where's the basis for this? There's no basis for attacking the judiciary on this. If you have a personal problem with the Chief Justice and you want to deal with the Chief Justice on a personal level, let us understand that. But as a national institution, a state institution, the judiciary, this is not how we should tolerate it.
Okay.
On the specific matters of the cases, Randy, as for me, I don't understand what the legislature, and especially, particularly the Speaker, is trying to do. I don't know. The Speaker seems to want to be president. I don't get it. The case, the Dofia Mekpo case, what is the truth about it? As far as me, I know. The truth is that he says that those who are transitioning from one ministry to a new ministry should be vetted. That's my understanding.
You have not read.
No, I haven't.
So
that's why I said that's my understanding.
The relief that he seeks is to prevent the Speaker and Parliament from going ahead with all the processes before it.
It includes that?
Yes.
Is this on the second one or the first one?
I published it. I can even show it.
Oh, I didn't watch, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah,
is it the first one or the
It's
second?
part of the reliefs that they are seeking. What the Speaker
in the initial...
What the Speaker referred to is in there. There are actually 3 paragraphs on that.
And he's stopping the Speaker from doing what?
Going ahead with the vetting and approval of ministers, stopping Parliament, the Speaker.
Until there's been a determination of a substantive case.
Yes.
Until the what?
The determination of the matter.
Which matter?
As to whether
the matter that he has
appointments are proper and in line with the Constitution or not. But until that,
so that's the second. That's the second filing, isn't it?
No,
he's filed two.
There's only one.
No. I'm saying that there is an issue of the substantive case, and then the reliefs that the person seeks. The reliefs, as far as the injunction is concerned, is asking for Parliament, the Speaker and Parliament, to be injuncted from going ahead with any of the processes before them. The merits of that is what the court would determine.
Now, having understood what you just told me, it still raises for me the question of where is all this supposed to take us? What is it that the Dofia Mekpo is trying to achieve? Because we're in a governance thing.
Adherence to the Constitution.
What does
on the face of the writ is filed before the Supreme Court. He's insisting that the Constitution should be respected. And that as far as he understands, the processes of appointment is not in tune with the provisions of the Constitution. But until that determination is made, Parliament should be injuncted from vetting the ministers. That's all he's saying.
And I'm asking, what is the basis for his taking those steps? Because what has changed?
But Nana, Nana, I don't think that this might be the forum for that discussion.
Okay.
He's gone to the courts. Okay. The same way people have issues with those other cases and think that they are unmeritorious.
Okay.
But
now, how does that connect with a suit on signing a bill?
Because the president also says that I am aware of an application before the Supreme Court seeking to injunct me.
So the Speaker wants to control the president's...
No.
How? Because he related it.
The president says... No, the president writes...
He related it in his comment.
The president writes to Parliament
the issue
and says that...
One at a time.
The president writes to Parliament and says that I've been made aware of an application for injunction. And so it is settled law that when a process like that is filed, we all stay our hands off until the determination of a matter. The Speaker says that, okay, I've also been made aware of an application for injunction against us from going ahead with this. By the president's position on the matter, we should also stay our hands off until the determination of the issue.
And I'm asking, why did he do that? Because is it not true that he hadn't been served?
Is it not true that what?
He hadn't been served.
Who hadn't been served?
The speaker.
Is
So,
it been
so
served how?
said he had been made aware.
Yes, he had been made aware.
In what
Those
form?
are just choice of words. I mean, the president
He had
didn't
been
say I've
served.
been served.
No, I'm talking about the speaker.
I'm saying the president also didn't say I've been served. He said I've been made aware.
Okay.
And the speaker also says that it's been made. The truth of the matter is that once you admit that you've been made aware, it doesn't matter whether you have received service or
Right.
not. You say that you are aware.
But here's my big, you see, because for me, I'm getting to the point where I'm trying to say that how does running the country on a regular basis have to do with the bill? What's the bill? Why should there be a correlation in that sense? Because this
There's
bill,
no correlation. The only correlation
because
is the only correlation
is the speaker associating it with
the only correlation
with
is
sign-
applications
getting
for
work done.
injunctions. That's the only correlation. The correlation has nothing to do with the substance of the cases. It has to do with the principle. So what the president describes as.
So why has the speaker muddied the water, giving us the impression? You see, let me show you
Can I make
the
a
raw
small
state.
contribution?
Yeah, please. Just make it as small as you said.
No, you finish, then he'll have his step because he's not speaking on the matter.
When he said small, he stretched it. I did.
Small with 7 A's.
So here's my problem. Here's a bill. It's got all kinds of issues in it. As far as I'm concerned, the president shouldn't sign that bill. It's not a bill that should be signed. I don't see anything about that bill that makes it a signed bill that we should be worried about. It should have never been the issue it was made. As far as I'm concerned, it's just made people popular and all kinds of noise. It hasn't really, it's not going to serve us in any way.
Well, that's just your view.
Of course it is.
But when the chief imam and the hierarchy of the Muslim community will leave their homes and mosque offices and go and sit in parliament just to make sure that the thing is done. When the leadership of all the Christian organizations will go and do that, then it goes beyond your opinion. You can express your opinion, but you cannot say that.
Let me express it.
You cannot say that those who hold the contrary opinion are.
What?
Yeah, that you don't see the head and tail. You are virtually saying that.
So what's wrong with that? You just said a few minutes ago that people should be able to express their opinion. I'm expressing mine. I'm saying it is a waste of our time, and I'm saying that it's unfortunate that I didn't get the opportunity to present to these fora that you're talking about. Because listen, the reality on the ground is that these types
well,
of
let's
things,
not go into that issue. That's a different conversation. Yes,
so
it's a different. What we are talking about today is the stalemate.
Don't create a rift between me and those very eminent bodies. The fact of the
now, I was
matter,
just trying to remind you
no,
that they have a view contrary to your view.
I have a,
So when you are
I'm not
when you're
shaking.
speaking about those who hold a contrary view, just be careful.
I'm not shaken at all by it, and I have a big problem with the religious bodies on how they handle the situation. Now, so anyway, since Kwesi, you want Kwesi to speak, I was hoping you wouldn't want him to speak.
No, I'm now going to. I'm not going to answer your question. I deliberately asked you about. I deliberately asked you whether you were speaking about partisanship.
No, don't answer it. Really. You will not be
organization.
fair to the discussion because when I asked you, it was for a particular purpose at a particular.
No, I wanted to hear your definition.
It's not right. That's not how you do things. When we're discussing something, you want to be. It's a straightforward, clean air thing. You don't. Now you've had my brain. That you are going to try. And,
Oh no, you haven't.
I said it.
I
explained.
You explained why it is a
Why
political
I said,
organization.
why I
right?
was asking what I was saying, and that this is where I stand on the matter.
Oh, I didn't get the explanation. But that's fine.
As far as I'm concerned, this is what we're discussing.
Yes.
As far as I'm concerned, this one is an unnecessary statement. It is very abusive. It insults our intelligence as a people.
Okay.
For me, even the MPP shouldn't bother to be responding to this if they were to ask me. They shouldn't try and. There's no need. Let the Ghanaian public understand that this is very abusive of our intelligence.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
I think, look, we should get the principles right.
Okay.
Because if we don't take the path of principle, we'll be talking plenty for nothing. And the cardinal principle is that the judiciary acts on behalf of the people of Ghana.
Yes.
The judiciary doesn't have any power beyond the sovereign will of the people of this country. But the judiciary acts in our names. And therefore, we have a right as citizens to express our views fully on whatever the judiciary does. That's clear. The second principle, which is established by eminent lawyers and jurists and so on, is that decisions of the court must be seen to make sense by ordinary mortals like us. That's a principle which has been established in law for many years. Now, guided by these principles, and let's go by the first principle. If we go by the first principle, the people of this country even have a right to decide whether we should have a Supreme Court or not. The people of this country, through constitutional amendment, the Supreme Court is a creation of the Constitution. The Constitution can be amended by the people of this country. And through the process of amendment, the people of this country can decide that we no longer want a Supreme Court to exist. We should have some other institution to deal with issues that the Supreme Court deals with now and so on. So that's clear. Now, with regards to the issues raised by the NDC, I think they are fairly simple. The NDC is saying that, look, there is an injunction which was filed 2 weeks earlier against the president signing this bill, this bill on LGBTQI. And the president says that because an injunction has been filed, he is stopped from signing the bill. Similarly, the Speaker of Parliament, an injunction has also been filed restraining the Speaker of Parliament from taking certain actions. Now, the first injunction was filed 2 weeks before the second. Somehow, the Chief Justice has decided that the second injunction should be listed for hearing. And the first injunction is not listed. I think it's within our rights to ask for a justification for that action.
Nana says that that right must not be exercised with such language.
What language?
It says the language in the statement.
Because if I use some words right now, you'll be mad, you'll be upset, because it would not be the right words to address you with on the matters you raise. And that's the point I'm making. You see,
suspicion of bias is not an insult.
What do you mean? When you use words like ploy, it affects your professionalism. When you use word ploy, it's a ploy. It affects the image of your professionalism.
Okay.
Hey, what are you people talking about? This is English they've written and we all understand it all. I've not said that the NDC should not address the
judiciary is
I'm
not
saying they
infallible.
shouldn't talk to us in this manner.
The judiciary is not infallible. It's not an infallible institution.
You choose not to hear me. So that's
it's not an infallible institution. Even the fact that there are processes for appeal within the judicial system acknowledges the fact that the judiciary is not infallible.
Or not.
In fact, sometimes when you read some of the comments by judges on rulings or judgments given by other judges in judicial cases, you ask yourself whether if you were
that's their business.
Why is it not our business?
Are you a lawyer? Are you a judge?
Oh, I don't have to be.
Yes, you do. I'm saying we have.
Nana,
you see,
when the judges go
the terms that you and I can use for each other. Other people on the street are not related to you and I like you and I are related to each other. And that's my point. I'm saying when you're dealing with the judiciary, because of our history in this country, you deal with it in a manner that will build respect, not undermine it. The issue at stake, notice, I'm repeating myself for the umpteenth time. It is not, my concern is not that they are asking that they are raising the issue that they want to raise. It is the how they are raising it.
Well, what is the how they are complaining about?
I've raised questions to you. I said, when they use words like ploy, it affects your image. When you start using words like despotic, bizarre.
But that's used on the executive, not on the judiciary.
I won't interfere.
No, the issue of despotic is on the executive, not the judiciary.
But it's part of it.
No, but it's against the read the full thing.
It says such judicial manipulations. Oh.
Yes, go on. No, read the full thing.
No, even that word, manipulations.
Yes.
If I sat somewhere and said you are being manipulated here, it will be, you will not tolerate it because you know it's not true and it's insultive of
but I have to.
But you know that it is possible for somebody else to sit here and be manipulated. You know that.
But you see,
you know that presenters can be manipulated.
Can Randy be manipulated?
I'm not talking about Randy.
I'm talking about Randy. I'm saying there are some things that, for me, are sanctuaries. Especially in this country because of where we've come from. If you don't agree with me, that's fine.
Where's he going?
Nana, every year, judges, sometimes including the Supreme Court, the Chief Justice, meet to review the Achia Mensah case. Alright? What word has been used in this statement which the judges and lawyers don't use in reviewing that case? What words have been used in this statement which judges have not used before? Recently, there was the judgment in the Anas Arimuyao, Anas
Kennedy Agyapong
case. Go and read the language there.
In fact,
go and read the language.
No, in fact, what
that a judge used.
In fact, what you need to even read is the decision by the two judges who agreed, who disagreed with the judge.
Yeah.
You should read their commentary on the judge's commentary.
Exactly. So there's nothing here which is absurd. You can argue that it has no basis in logic and in law. You can argue that way. You understand? But you see, I'm an ordinary lay person. I'm not even a lawyer. I would never become a Supreme Court judge and so on. But when the Chief Justice decides that two similar cases, similar, almost identical, filed before the Supreme Court, the one which was filed earlier should not be listed for hearing, and the one which came 2 weeks later should be listed for hearing, we have a right to ask why. As citizens.
Don't look at me on that point because I already made the same point. I don't have a problem with raising the question about why the Chief Justice is. So don't look at me, look in Randy's direction. Because that's not my concern. It's true. Yeah, okay. You see, we're making a. That's not the thing.
It's okay. We accept the Ojoko Bilago.
Okay. So I'll look at Randy.
Yes, please. Look at,
he's
more handsome than I am. I want his frames. You can look at him until he takes it off. Besides,
and I think what
we have a party.
What the National Democratic Congress has done is simply to ask legitimate questions. Legitimate questions. Why? How come that a case which was filed in 2020 has not been listed for hearing, and a case which was filed, only last week has been listed for hearing? It's a legitimate question.
They haven't even asked one question. They didn't even ask a question. They just went out to attack. There's not one question mark in the thing. Charlie, go ahead.
Then it's okay.
Oh.
No need.
Okay. You see, Randy, I just make this point quickly, please. For what it is worth, everything that we do publicly must be an exhibition of who we are supposed to be, a decent people. Everything that we do, everything from every quarter.
And this includes the judiciary.
everything from every quarter.
No, now,
If you see, don't whatever you do,
the judiciary
whatever you do, at least listen to me. You see, let me use what I think might be a good analogy. What your father, the language your father uses, is not the same language you use as a child. You don't.
The Supreme Court is not my father. Supreme Court is not my father. It cannot be anybody's father.
But you see, if you would listen to me, you will hear.
Okay.
Good.
Okay.
If you can't hear, that's fine. But the point is clear. And I'm saying, in a society where we must consistently, as a people, as a culture, we must there's some things, especially because of our history, we mustn't tolerate. Ask the judiciary all you want to ask. There's so many questions all of us have to the judiciary, and it will continue. But it is the how that I'm worried about. This is not the language I want us to move forward with.
All right.
If the judiciary are talking to themselves in a certain manner, it doesn't mean we should.
What if they are talking to members of the public who have come before them?
In a certain manner. If it is within their authority, as far as I'm concerned, we should watch how the end. If we think, and in all honesty, if we think that their language is not even what I'm asking for, we should say so. But we don't rebut it by coming back with equal language.
That's the judiciary.
I mean, it's a cultural thing that I'm very bothered about, and this one does not meet the standard that we should be standing for, especially for a party of this size.
Must the judiciary, in being seen to be dispensing justice, not be explaining the exercise of the discretionary administrative power of the CJ in this regard, especially when you have two cases with two issues that have brought the legislature and the executive to a gridlock. And then you have the judiciary as the arbiter, quote and unquote, coming in to deal with the issues. Both of them refer to processes before it. If in the exercise of the CJ's discretionary administrative power, one side sees what it describes as a bias, as an imprudence or an abuse of the discretionary power, shouldn't we be told, for example, that, hey, there is nothing arbitrary about this. There is nothing unjust about this. There's nothing unfair about this because of ABCD. Because on the face of it, I would not understand why.
In all honesty, I think it's an academic question you're asking. And the reason is simply this. There are many factors that would go into answering that question. First of all, are there precedents about this matter anywhere in the world where the Supreme Court will be, or the judiciary, in this case, yes, the judiciary will be answering just about everything that a political party comes up. When they've done so, if it has happened, what has been the case? Then we reflect on ours. I mean, for me, it's not a straightforward answer. That's how I see it. It's not a straightforward answer. Okay. From a political standpoint, yes, it will sound like yes, it's the thing to do. But from the standpoint of the generality of society, it may not necessarily be the thing to do. Okay. So for me, there's
a public announcement for me to make.
Okay.
It's a sad one, but I have to make it. It's a sad one. So we wish to announce with grief and sadness the passing of Hajia Ramatu Sharubutu, the spouse of the eminent National Chief Imam, in the early hours of today, 27th of March, Wednesday, 27th of March, 2024. Janaza prayer and burial will be conducted at 2 p.m. prompt at the residence of the National Chief Imam. Sympathizers are expected to arrive for the prayer by 1 p.m. May the Almighty Allah forgive and grant her mercy for and on behalf of the National Chief Imam, Sheikh Amiyal Shaibu, spokesperson for the National Chief Imam. So the Chief Imam's wife, Hajia Ramatu Sharubutu, passed on this morning. And so the The janaza prayer and burial will be conducted at 2 p.m. at the residence of the National Chief Imam. And sympathizers are expected to arrive for the prayer by 1 p.m. So that's the sad public announcement. Okay. All right. Now, let's just do this quickly and then we go. Nana?
Randy, may your soul rest in peace.
Yeah. Let's just do this quickly and then we go. Nana, I want to hear your views on this one.
Is it the National Theatre matter?
No.
We started with National Theatre.
We can end with it.
The new finder, Ghana's first female VIP, now hinges on NPP.
And it is a trap.
The custodian, make history with female running mate, groups to Bawumia. The Ghanaian publisher, Feeder pushes Bawumia to pick female. Okay, I'm surprised that the Daily Statesman didn't take part.
The bad one, but okay. You see how it is smiling.
The new crusading guide, choice of running mate, calls intensify in NPP for Nato Shiado to partner Bawumia. Daily guide, feeder pushes for female NPP running mate. And so these are basically the story about eight newspapers on this particular issue. And so you have Feeder Ghana, Queen Mothers, and other groups. They say that if Dr. Bawumia also picks a female running mate, it will mark a significant milestone 67 years after Ghana gained independence, because the NDC has also picked a woman. So once the MPP does that, they're saying that it means that Dole, the next vice president, will be a woman. And so they have now raised all these issues. And there are people who also say that the Ashanti, the fight in Ashanti is becoming dirty and murky and everything. And so Dr. Bawumia perhaps should look beyond all those who are jostling for the thing and go somewhere else. And that's where the issue of being a woman. And interestingly,
why don't you start with because
I'm starting with you.
I said, don't look at me. You. This particular.
Can you do a new 70th birthday party?
Thank you.
Just for Nana.
That's for me.
I didn't organize.
Okay, I'll speak with Amma.
Okay.
That makes it even worse. Amma is my friend, and she forgot to.
Yes.
So, Randy, I have a great difficulty with this thing where across parties there's a hard thing about pushing candidates to lean in a certain direction or other, especially to do with these three things. Other issues when you push, because me, I'm about to push mine, and it doesn't fall into any of these categories. Regionalism, ethnicity, gender. I don't buy that. I don't think it's fair to Ghana. My experience, and in all humility, let me list my political experience. I've been a constituency executive member before and worked at it, not just being a constituent. I've been a regional executive and worked on the ground, not just holding the position and talking. And in working, I've experienced all manner of people. I've crisscrossed this country in campaigns before and heard people, and their memories are still on my mind. Never has these issues been an issue. If anything at all, the only regionalism thing that came in, and that one, I think it's always dealt with, even across board. So I don't even have a point there, which is if you pick the candidate from the south, go somewhere up north and pick the running mate, and vice versa. If you pick the so that one, I don't have an argument there. But this choosing which region the candidate should come from, which ethnic group, the gender. I don't know where it's supposed to take us. It isn't about only images. It's about the actual work that must be done. It is about this untouchable space that Mr. Kwesi Ahoy went to touch and got problems with. It's about all these other things that Vice President Bawumia is being touted for. The capacity and ability to execute duties assigned to them in a manner that leaves a positive trail on the well-being of the country. That's why you want a presidential candidate, somebody who understands everything about where we have come from, everything about where we should go. Me, my choice of presidential candidate has nothing to do with any of these three. Has everything to do with what I believe are the criteria.
You don't think that you can find, or you'll be able to find a woman with all the attributes that you refer to in the MPP?
All
the attributes that you have.
Yes. If we find that person, let's put them up. I haven't found the person. It doesn't mean the person doesn't exist.
Okay.
It says I haven't found the person. But it's crucial, and I'm not pushing, my comment is not to push against a woman. It's to push against insisting that if you don't do woman, you can't do it. That's what I'm against. I'm against that. It's not about a woman or a man. It's about a person who can solve socio-economic, socio-cultural, everything problems when handed the authority. And that's what we need first around here. And if anybody there tried to tell me that I'm an anti-gender person, they better watch it. The fact that I'm not a front bencher on those campaigns doesn't mean I don't have a record of fighting for women's rights. So that's not the issue as far as I'm concerned. And this question you asked, I'd like to state clearly that I'm not speaking as a spokesperson for MPP.
Yeah.
I'm speaking as a human being in Ghana. Yes. And you asked me that question as me, and so I should be understood as that. And I'm sure because you bear witness the fact that we've argued, not he and I against each other, but we've discussed this point that people come here with opinions.
Yeah.
And that's the quality of your program. It hasn't been around for 20 years and over for nothing. So we should be understood on that score. Ghanaians must insist that all the people who put themselves up to be nominated and eventually be elected into these kinds of positions must exhibit to us capacity to resolve not all our needs, but put that on the right track.
Do you know the Common Fund Administrator firsthand?
Yeah.
No,
I wouldn't say we're acquainted. Yes.
Oh, okay.
We're acquainted. But why do you ask?
No, because from the newspaper, apart from the fact that woman,
the picture,
she appears to be. They all suggest that she's the front runner. So I was just asking whether you know her and her capabilities.
That's the front runner.
When it comes to the
you
women,
can be a front runner if Dr. Bawumia has written your name down and.
No, you don't get. But I'm saying that they're saying that for those who are pushing for a woman, she appears to be the person.
Not
yes,
he who is selecting.
No, they are not saying
lies
that.
with Dr. Bawumia, and I pray to God that by praying to God, I hope he's listening. Dr. Bawumia is listening. That he should stay focused on what he wants to do. He shouldn't. He should just. The only influence he should have is that I suggest that he looks deeper into the party.
Into the party.
Yes.
What does that mean?
So that you can see Nana.
For the.
Are you one of those people who, if they look outside Ashanti, is there?
Don't fall for the over 70 man who threw a party. Don't fall for his antics. he should look deeper into the party. That's my
Because you don't you have some leftover
yes, because he should stay focused.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And you know,
Okay.
because that leaning is what we.
Please let me hear you this.
Okay. Look, it's clear. All the women whose names have come up everywhere are as qualified as men for that position. What are the qualifications? Must be above the age of 40, must not be insane, must be qualified to be elected member of parliament. So all the women are as qualified as men. Now, when the issue of the woman comes up, we said, as far as we are not looking at gender, we are looking at competence. There's a certain suggestion that if you look at competence, it would exclude women. I think it's an unfair statement to make, because women can be competent. Now, we are being told that Na Toshi is the front runner. I don't know how the newspapers came to that position, but persistently over the last 3 days, she appears to be gaining some dominance, and so there must be a reason for it. Okay.
How did you realize that?
It's in the newspaper, it's on the front
Media.
Over the last 2 years?
No, I mean 3 days. That's
3
what
days.
I said.
I
Over
thought you
the
said
last
2
3
years.
days. No.
So anytime the media reportage is come up and it's by female, you see Honorable Oslawusu Akufu's name, Chief of Staff.
Even her name has dropped now.
Yeah, Chief of Staff.
Osla has dropped.
Framer.
Yeah.
Yes. And then Irene Toshi, now Latte, Mrs. Latte. Okay. So their names. And then anytime these names come up, I think recently even the name of Ajua Safu also came up a bit. But when these names come up, it looks like the Honorable Irene Toshi appears to be the person in front.
So what I'm saying is that even if you look at competence and so on, there are women who can also be described as competent, who have the competencies that the men have. After all, look at some of the men who actually are vying for the presidency and vice presidency. Look at some of them, look at what they're saying. Sometimes I feel like puking, you know, when I listen to some of these men.
Careful.
No, I mean, the women who are being mentioned, some of these men, do they come any close to these women who are being mentioned?
Zero.
Including those who want to take the seat to Keditia and so on. They're all there, they are men. You understand what I mean? So, that issue about competence should not be raised at all. It must apply to men and it must apply to women equally.
If we consider religion and tribe, why not gender?
No, I agree with Nana 100%. That this regionalism and ethnicity and so on is bad for our politics. You understand?
But for example, the MPP says that it has an established tradition that it will do Christian-Muslim.
I disagree.
No, but I'm saying that the party says that that is their...
It's a backward formula.
So no, I'm saying that if you can have Christian Muslims, if you can have Christian Muslim, then why not also gender?
You're right.
Yeah.
But I think that's a backward formula. You understand? Listening about northing, southing, Christian, so on. It's backward. But
can I just
can I
for that area? If you notice, I'd mentioned that and said that my experience showed me that one somehow on the ground it's been established. So I leave it alone. And the reason is I remember very well in 1996 we were confronted by that up north. That you should make sure that if you pick this way, you will pick that way.
Okay.
On the ground.
Okay. Yeah.
But you see, in the case of the gender question, it's an issue which cannot be ignored.
Cannot be ignored.
Cannot be ignored. You have a national population.
Hey, Randy, what's going on?
This one, I don't know anything about.
Production, projection.
Yeah, but as a matter, you have a national population
Very suspicious.
They are
52%.
I think they are. You know, when we're having discussions, then they show footages related to the discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the other women.
But 52% of the national
The last time
population.
they played Auntie Freme's music, a song has been composed for her.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So
Well,
watch your screen. Yes.
52% of the national population
Was it played at
is made
Kwesi's
up
party?
of women. You understand? So if you have a situation in which for over 60 years,
There you go. I see.
no woman has risen to that position, legitimate questions can be asked. You understand? Purely legitimate questions can be asked.
Yes, it's not that.
You know, and I think that is why the gender movement is raising those legitimate questions. You understand? After all, what do we want? We want a team which, according to some people, will be able to bring inflation down, take us out of bankruptcy, ensure better access to education, and so on. Those are the things that we want. And I don't see why anybody can think that women cannot be part of that team. Women can also be part of that team. And in fact, the men we have had in office, my friend, the men we have had in office have not done anything extraordinary that women cannot do. You understand? And Randy, I'm going to tell you this. I've had a private, personal conversation with Dr. Bawumia.
Okay.
Private.
If it's private and it's personal,
Why
don't
make
give us
it
the
public?
details.
No.
He says you should give.
I'm not going to.
Don't give us the
Why
details.
not?
I'm not going to.
He's
say-
made it public.
No, he's made the.
He's made the fact that he held a private, personal
please.
But not the
conversation
details.
public.
It's fine.
Please.
It's fine.
Please.
Because he's old enough to know what he should do. And
Please.
Oh, are you referring to his age again? This party matter. Look,
Yes, basically.
Can I make my point?
Yeah, go.
Please.
it's private and personal.
And I made it clear to him. And I've said that publicly. I also said that to the NDC candidate. You understand? But I don't understand why all of this is happening. The decision to contest for presidential elections is not made, off the cuff and so on. To contest for presidential elections, you must have made that decision years ago. So I am sick and tired of the situation where people actually get to the point of contesting, winning primaries and so on, and they still create the impression that they don't know who to choose. They don't know what to do. That's a problem. If, as at now, you don't know who to choose, you don't know what to pick and so on, when did you decide to become presidential candidate? So they should save us all this,
Now, why
all
do we
this.
make it a big issue when the issue's on the table? The guys, the candidates, whether it's Mr. Mahama or Dr. Bawumia, they were putting out their thoughts. We should be focused on that. Why are we focused on their vice presidential picks?
Because the vice presidential slot is an important slot
It is, but
in the management of the nation.
but in the
you
scheme
know.
of things, we
And in
shouldn't
fact,
be so
you can
testy.
make or unmake a president. You understand? And look, if today Dr. Bawumia is going to make a choice, one of the things he has to consider is the appeal of the person he's going to choose. He would have to be careful not to choose a loose talker.
Oh,
Yes!
He's right.
I'm right.
Nana Fera, this is right.
Yes. Because if he goes and chooses a loose talker, one
That's
statement
crucial.
from the person can bring the whole campaign down. One statement of the guard statement can bring the whole campaign
Can
down.
we?
Why, you have some people in mind.
Can we end
Oh,
the
I haven't
program?
mentioned anybody's
him.
name.
The way-
Maybe he
the
has.
way-
I want us to end the program.
Oh, okay, let's end it.
Our time, we have.
Okay. No problem.
Because he was too
Wait, I
surprised.
thought you were done.
He wasn't done.
You are ending the program.
Okay, please finish.
What authority do I have? When we come here, you are the boss.
No, you finish.
No, the people speak. The people speak.
Here, Randy is the boss. He tells us what to do.
I don't want to be seen as capricious and arbitrary.
Yes. And don't make it seem like there's a ploy.
No, because you have to be careful.
What I tried to do was to ask you to cease and desist, which is wrong. So go ahead.
I agree with you. Let's.
Which are on the public and private conversations. He didn't mention any name.
Okay. Some people have sent me a video to show for you, but we don't have time to do that. So, so maybe I'll send it to you privately, and then the next time we'll show it.
Is it to do with National Theatre?
No, it has to do with the issues of judiciary.
But that video that people like to spread this. So.
Anyway, okay, so we have to go, gentlemen. Thanks for. Unfortunately, we couldn't look at the energy minister's issue with respect to load shedding. We'll do that tomorrow. There have been some
tomorrow we will
developments.
not be here. Me and Nana will not be here.
That's fine. I don't want you to.
Nana says that's fine. Okay.
I don't want him to talk about. He has too much energy.
So, Mrs. Tina Besso, you're 40 today. Happy 40th today to you, Tina.
Please
40.
make sure that you invite Nana to your birthday party. Otherwise, you'll be in trouble.
You know Alain Besso?
No.
Oh, is in the IT space?
Okay.
Okay, you might not know him.
And then
that's his wife.
And then she's not 70.
She's not 70. Okay, she's 40 today. The husband likes to throw parties. He calls it a didija because he deliberately leaves people out.
Well, we wish her all the best.
So today is her birthday. So happy birthday.
He should bring her to come and see the show.
Is that the woman?
Yes. That's her right there.
She's wearing one of those South African necklaces. Is that right?
She looks South African.
No, the piece that was around her neck. Hey, this is a serious exhibition of. Is she a model or something?
I don't know. All I know is that
the husband should bring her.
Wife.
Yes. The husband should bring her to National Theatre. Come and
celebrate the birthday there.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Give her as a gift.
Okay, so you're inviting them to the National Theatre?
Unfortunately, my free tickets are finished. I would have offered her.
Oh, the husband can afford.
Oh, I could see that.
Tickets.
This modeling pictures there.
Okay. It's also the birthday of Dr. Frank Odami, who's the medical director at Medifem, Multi-Specialist Hospital and Fertility Center. Today is his birthday. So happy birthday to you, Dr. Frank Odami. And this is from Samuel Odami of Multimedia and, of course, the entire family. So happy birthday to you, to Dr. Frank Odami, medical director, Medifem. So, gentlemen, thanks for joining me. Up next, we'll have trends and then Metro Sports. Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana. Time to check out what's trending on social media with Desi. What's going on?
Doc,
you're very excited.
It seems to say, matter day. Now, if you live at Kaswa or you live in La Paz and you're a male, you've got to be very careful because there are reports that people's AE are getting missing. People's I'll talk about that later, but let me talk about the Africa Games first. I'll wrap up with that. So the games have ended, but the volunteers are not happy. And so yesterday, they were quite agitated. They're saying that they were waiting for their monies that were promised them. So you know the irony of the name, volunteers, but they're waiting for their money. And 2,000 Ghana cedis, they say that was mentioned to them that they'll be receiving, and then 500 cedis as the transport fee or TNT. That hasn't happened, and they were also asked to leave the hostels. And we've been following up on that story. Now the team lead for the volunteers, or the chairperson for the volunteers at the games, Juliana Aduyobo, says that, you know what, we'll sort it out. We did not have the money when the games ended, so we will sort it out. We understand that they received messages that they should come for 200 cedis as a TNT and go home, but they want their 2,500 before they go home. So yesterday the video was all on social media, a lot of people talking about it, the volunteers from the African Games. There were about 3,000 volunteers who were taking through the rudiments of volunteering for the games, and yes, volunteering free into my area, but they said they were promised the 2,500, 2,000 for allowance, 500 for TNT, so they want their monies before they go home. So that's been trending on Twitter all through since yesterday. Now moving on, let me tell you about Funny Face, because we all know the incident that happened. But yesterday he was taken to court, and he's been remanded for 2 weeks, and that has also been going on. A lot of people still talking about it as to what exactly should be done to Funny Face. Of course, we know of the issue of mental health with him, not being too good for him, but also flouting the rules of the land in the accidents, being drunk and driving. That is also another offense. So that has been going on, and he's been remanded for 2 weeks in police custody. We'll follow through on that story and let you know that. Also, let me wrap up real quick with the incident in Kaswa. So I heard Kaswa and La Paz, whenever you greet people, this thing can get missing. So those are some of the videos from Kaswa. About 7 people we hear have had their distance got missing. Their manhood is Charlie. And I don't know who you go greet for time inside again. As if you greet somebody.
This thing has come back again. About 25 years ago.
Wow.
There was a similar issue.
Hey.
Yes.
People
were lynched and all that. Yeah, because somebody will just hold their crutches and say that, oh, I can't find it, and then point to somebody, and they go lynching the person. And then they go and lynch it. About 25 years ago.
Dog say Wait, so we do La Paz with the I can't touch anybody. I can't greet anybody. My own cannot get missing.
But have you seen evidence of?
We've not seen evidence.
Somebody who is actually missing.
The guy in white who took the thing to the police station.
Yes.
He said that again, but we'll not go see.
But did the police inspect? Did the police confirm that upon inspection they realized the thing was in there?
That one there we are. If I feel as in why
the only thing is that there's no winter here. Otherwise, I would have said that maybe sometimes the excruciating winter. When you're around Minnesota, you could think that is missing.
But it did. Okay. As in why anyway.
Hey, have you seen the video about the Tema Hospital?
Yeah.
The kids,
the
babies.
General Hospital, where the lights out is making it impossible for babies in the
incubator and
incubators.
All that. I mean, have you seen it?
Yes, I've seen that. I saw that this morning, and I saw Irene Keche, the taller one, Keche Joshua, talking about it. How can a whole hospital have a situation like that, where babies incubate, just a light out in tea?
So that's it.
That's the video.
Yeah, that's what it.
This baby is on CPAP. There's no light to connect, off. No flow meter to even connect with the oxygen. If we don't get light in few minutes, probability that we might lose a lot of babies is high. Samajeno Aniku. The whole world is full. No CPAP, no light. Everywhere is off. Everywhere is off. Babies are in beta. This baby is not fine. CPAP is off. No light to connect. No flow meter to connect to the oxygen. There's oxygen but no flow meter. Samajeno Aniku. This is not right. We have about 10 critically ill babies, all on CPAP. The whole place is dark. If you don't get light in few minutes,
wow, that is absolutely ridiculous. Like, when things happen in the country, like we know that they shock again, but why? Why should this be happening? Why should this be happening? And that is why a lot of people, including myself, feel disappointed in the comments of the energy minister over the weekend when he was questioned about the doomsday and talking about the fact that...
Have you seen the statement by the ministry?
I wondered why
to
the
rationalize
ministry...
what he said.
The ministry is defending
I mean, that statement even makes it worse. You see, the PURC,
yes,
which is the regulator,
has
asked ECG
to produce a
timetable. And you say what? Even the regulator.
And it says that those of us who are asking for a timetable, we should produce our own timetable. I saw a post on Twitter where someone says the ECG looks like they have a timetable. That is when they know when to put the light off in this area, in that area. So just share with us so that we can... when I'm going home, stores by 4 o'clock, they are closing up because there are no lights. It is affecting the livelihoods of people. Look at that in the hospital. But well, we will produce one at timetable. So I'll draw my own. They give me small, then behind my house, someone has light, the exchange, maybe a banana there doom. How can we live like this?
On the missing penises, Kwakuno Okwe from Kita, he says this is a hoax. This fear of people's penises shrinking or vanishing passed like a wave that moved from Nigeria through to Benin and Togo and entered Ghana. It moved and ended in Cote d'Ivoire in the 1990s. That's what I was referring to about 25 years ago. People ran to me to pray for them, for me to check their manhood intact. Only fear made it shrink. Without praying, but just dismissing the whole thing as a hoax, the penises came back. They even beat up innocent people for being the cause.
Hey. So fear can...
Yeah.
Okay.
Fear can. It can make it shrink. Okay. Like I said, if there's no winter here, otherwise I said sometimes when people are walking around places like Minnesota and all that, you can get cold to the point that
if you can say that. But look, I heard that Honorable Ras Mubarak has drawn his timetable.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Say what? Dear Dr. Boko Prempe, do some timetable for East Lagos at Ghana. Can you find below for your kind and necessary action? Sunday, all day, night on. Okay. Monday, 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. off. Tuesday, all day and then night on. Wednesday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. off. Thursday, all day, night on. Friday, all day, night on. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. off. Your fellow Ghanaian. Be like I would do my own too, so that we can share. But anyway, we'll see how that goes. We're seeing the Ghana month. We're wrapping up this week. And for us at Metro TV, we're bringing to you This is Ghana Easter Sales Expo, and it's happening from Friday, 29th March to Sunday, 31st March at the Osu, Oxford Street. For as little as 300 Ghana cedis, you can showcase your brand and reach thousands through, of course, this amazing platform, Metro Television, commercials, TV interviews, and all that. So for more information, make sure that you're part of this. 0244 598 747 or 0548 390 970 and reserve your spot today and make this Easter unforgettable. And all food vendors, please, that will come trouble, so please come around also and be part of this. You can pass by our offices here at Northridge in Accra. Shout out to our sponsors, Appointed Time Printing, AH Hotel and Conference, is Legon, Blue Jeans Energy Drink, Original 91.9 FM, and of course, Original TV, our sister station, Metro 3, doing this together. And we'd have some of our programs live from the Oxford Street. So talking about original sports, then Abrabo, original news, Adjoining Casa, musical concerts, inside pages, living well, fanfare activation, face paint, all of these things happening there. And original gospel mix also happening on Sunday. So it's going to be an amazing time from Friday to Sunday. This is Ghana Easter Sales Expo. Please be part of this. And of course, we're bringing to you the Miss Gorgeous, one of our new shows that is coming up on, that is very soon. The audition is tomorrow. So please pass by our offices and grab a form. And this one, you are representing your month. June, I think June will have a very beautiful girl representing us. And we could possibly win. I don't know about January. Doc? Miss Gorgeous, January go win. January, you have 5 years.
Maybe they should let me, they should let me choose for the month of January.
So that is Miss Gorgeous coming up. It's on your screen. Please pass by tomorrow for the auditions and be part of it. And if you're a football fan, something crazy is coming out. The fans must be crazy. Yes, come and defend your team, come and banter for your team. Like I'm a Chelsea fan, I'm doing that for Chelsea, and then you can try and do that for Liverpool. But yeah. So please come around, come and pick a form and defend your team. After 13 weeks, we'll find out who becomes the winner. That fan who is able to defend and banter for his team.
All right.
Well, ladies, you can also join in.
Do you know Mr. Kojochu Mbuafu?
Yes.
Okay. About the Kaswa story.
Yeah.
Apparently, being in opposition can also be a factor for the disappearance or shrinking. It says for the last 7.5 years, he has been experiencing something. So it's almost gone.
Who are you?
So apart from the extreme cold and wintry conditions in places like Minnesota and Alaska, opposition can also cause it.
That's about the trust today.
We only pray that he has some left when it comes to power.
I know the when it comes to power.
When he comes to power,
there will be
he
power.
can have some left.
I'm trying to do
he can
bars.
be empowered by the power.
He can. That's right. So he can be empowered by the power when it comes into power, so that there will be power. That's for the trust. My name is Destiny the Star Boy. I'll see you tomorrow.